Hi people, me again obviously, Moreno Ravenberg. I'm going to briefly discuss a neutral topic. This is the second video that I'm publishing this evening or this morning. It's already morning time for me, 2:44 a.m. Yeah, you can tell what time it is with the header, or in referring to the header. I'm going to discuss objective reality versus factual reality. Now, I don't think I ever did a video on this. I don't think so. I briefly looked it up, nothing. I didn't see anything. I might have said it loosely in the past, maybe in a live stream or so, but I'm going to discuss it right now. A lot of people make the mistake of confusing the two, objective reality and factual reality. And by that I mean that they confuse their own personal life with facts, essentially, specifically in relation to the country they live in or that they were born in, etc., etc. So they essentially try to pass off their own experiences in life, their own personal life, and usually in a negative way. And they essentially try to blame the country they live in for that. For example, someone lives in Belgium or in France, and the person hasn't exactly had a great life. Life has been misery and whatnot, you name it. Anything from financial hardship to mental issues, psychological damage and trauma and blah, blah, blah. And as a result or consequence, they essentially, honestly, it's a form of narrow-mindedness. I'm not saying I blame these people. I understand where they're coming from, but still, it's narrow-mindedness. They essentially, when someone asks them, hey, what's life in France like, or what's life like in Belgium, you're going to hear something negative. And on the opposite end, it's also going to be the same thing. People that are, for example, happy, these people have had good lives, or they have good lives, they do the exact opposite, you know. The second you ask them, oh, France or Belgium is great, are you kidding me? I love it here, blah, 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 blah. And it just goes on. But they're referring to their own personal life. They're not referring to what life is like factually in any of these locations. And that's my point. That's what I'm getting at. Don't confuse your own personal life and your own outlook on life with your location. That's what I mean by objective reality versus factual reality. Objective reality is the way you experience life, the way you experience existence. And at a mundane level, that has to do with several factors. For one, the conditions and circumstances that you grew up under. Secondly, your overall state of mind, your level of mental health and psychological health and overall well-being. And last but not least, your level of prosperity. I don't mean just money or financially. I mean overall. How well do you prosper? How good is life for you based on your overall state of being? Or how good is life to you? That's objective reality. Okay, that because it's all subject to the aforementioned. Someone that wasn't exactly born under ideal circumstances, or at some point in their childhood suffered tremendous levels of trauma, will be just that. They'll be traumatized, and that negative state of mind will lead to nothing but negativity. It'll have like a ripple effect, and essentially the majority, all if not the majority of their lives will be nothing but misery based on their state of mind and their own outlook on life, which is negative. Okay, regardless of whether, through no fault of their own, because almost always it's not their fault. No one chooses any of that. And then, essentially, they're going to be narrow-minded and make the mistake. If someone asks them, they're going to say, hey, life is horrible here, life is this, life is that. See, they literally turn objective reality into factual reality. Factual reality applies to all, if not most people within said location. That's what I mean. So facts matter, okay? What's life like in France? What's life like in Belgium? That's what I mean. So essentially, what living standard do these locations have that apply to all, if not most citizens, regardless of their position, social standing, regardless of whether they're happy or miserable or something in between? That's factual, okay? But you can't be unfair and say, oh, my life is shit, so that means that the country I live in is also shit. Hey, what's life like in France? It's horrible. It's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. Everything is overpriced. Everything is just shit, okay? The French are very annoying, blah, blah, blah. The Belgians are very this, they're very that, and it just goes on and on and on and on. Believe me, I've encountered it. Okay, for example, Eurotrash that I've encountered in the past from the Netherlands, for example, from Holland. They have nothing but bad things to say about the Netherlands. And I know what time it is, and I call them out on their bullshit. I'm like, no, you're literally trying to pass your own personal life, which has generally speaking been negative, off as fact. If you're not happy there personally, then just say that. End of story. But don't try to pass your life off as if, okay, this is the way things are to all, if not most people in the Netherlands. No. Factually speaking, despite all of its issues, the Netherlands is still one of the best places in the world, one of the most prosperous countries in the world, like top 25, roughly estimated. And again, that obviously doesn't mean that everyone is doing well. There are people that are miserable. Life is nothing but struggling to make ends meet financially. It's not that they're psychologically damaged, and it just goes on and on and on and on and on and on. Whatever fucking issues they have. My point is, again, people that are narrow-minded do this, and again, my point is, don't do that. Don't. If you're not happy, then just admit that, hey, listen, I'm personally not happy for personal reasons pertaining to my own life. But from a neutral perspective, this is what things are like. But again, you need to have the clarity of mind to do so, and most people that find themselves in these positions, they do not have that. Okay, it's essentially like me and piece of crap, work less than nothing, sure now. If I were biased or narrow-minded, I would say literally every single thing is worthless, everyone is worthless, everything. But no, I'm not going to be unfair like that. Clarity. I more than anyone despise here like there's no tomorrow. But I've told people already, not literally every single thing, every square meter is worthless. There are nice places, there are normal people, believe it or not, that aren't absolutely worthless to the core. But again, they're a hopeless minority. And that minority makes up my world, essentially, like 5%. The other 95% to 90%, 5 to 10%, the other 95 to 90%, you don't want to see it. Okay, because it's exactly the way I describe. I deal with facts. My personal life plays no role or part because I have the clarity of mind. I could be living alongside the street, I could be homeless, or I could live in a golden house, metaphorically speaking. It would not make a difference. I deal with facts. Okay? A piece of shit is a piece of shit. It doesn't matter what your outlook is. If you see a piece of shit and it looks like cotton candy to you, then you're the one with a problem. Then literally you're the one with the problem. Through no fault of your own, you're in a compromised state of mind, something's wrong with you. But not that it's your fault. Generally speaking, it's almost never someone's fault that they are in that compromised state of mind. But just because you view it that way doesn't mean that that's the way things are. Deal with facts, okay? Like, factually, a piece of shit is a piece of shit, okay? Doesn't matter who is what, etc. You ask 9 out of 10 people on the street, they will say that it's a piece of shit. Factual. The one person is compromised or something else is wrong with the fucking person. That's why they see a piece of cotton candy. And even if they try to eat it, they're going to get sick because it is a piece of shit. Factually, it's irrefutable, it's undeniable. Okay? It's non-contestable. Period. So that's what I mean. That's simply food for thought. See you guys later. Bye-bye.